Hello friends, Vinay Kumar here, International NLP and IAS coach. In this video, my dear friends, I'm going to share with you how, in fact, before how, why, what and how of post-independence India studying, post-independence India preparation for your mains, general studies mains, my dear friends. Okay. Most people may only know how to study post-independence India or what to study. But there is a larger question that we need to address, which is why. Okay. And even when it comes to what and how, there are dimensions beyond what normal, normal preparation may extend to, my dear friends. So I felt it's important for us to know why, what and how in greater detail of post-independence India, so that we are able to study really well and ensure we are able to score maximum out of this area in the general studies paper 1, my dear friends. Okay, let's get started then. First thing first, when it comes to why, I know what your mind just thought. It thought, okay, sir, I'm going to get 60 marks of questions, almost 60 marks worth questions are going to come, so I will have to be ready for it. That's why I have to study. Yeah, that is definitely one of the object of studying this area for your mains. But over and above this, what you have to know is post-independence India, that is starting from 48 to till recent times, whatever history India has, whatever history we are going to study on how various aspects of Indian life evolved on sociological front or political front or economic front, is going to give us much needed, useful context and background of all other areas that we are going to study at the level of mains. Do you connect to what I'm trying to tell you? Perfect. Yeah. All I'm trying to tell you is, other than post-independence India, you have an area called society, correct? In paper 1. You have areas like polity, governance, IR in paper 2, correct? You have Indian economy, security and all that in paper 3. Perfect. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is, if you will have to be appreciating these subjects, society, governance, IR, your economy and all that, yeah, which are mostly concentrating, as they are in the UPSC syllabus, they concentrate mostly on the contemporary developments. Yes or no? Correct? But then they need some background for you to understand and appreciate what is happening today. If and only if you can trace that evolution, if and only if you can trace those developments that led to where they have been led to today, yeah, you may not be able to appreciate what is happening today. Are you connecting to what I'm trying to tell you? And that's what exactly your study of post-independence India does for you, my dear friends. You will be able to trace, okay, how did we become an agriculturally self-sufficient economy? What was this green revolution all about? How did our agriculture first improve considerably and then started to decline or whatever? How did our industrial growth happen? What were our industrial growth strategies? Where does it stand today? And what were the reasons responsible in the history for its present status? Are you connecting to what I'm trying to? That's on economy front. If you look at the status of women today in India, what all did happen from the time we got independence, which has kind of brought, which has brought present day status to women as it is, as she experiences it in Indian society today. Are you connecting to what I'm trying to tell you? The kind of politics that we have, or the areas around which we have politics today, the kind of governments that are getting formed, the kind of challenges that we have in the electoral democracy today, everything can be properly understood and, it can be traced when you actually understand this background, my dear friends. So, when you're studying post-independence India, my dear friends, study it as a first thing, not as a last thing. When you're starting your entire preparation for general studies mains, when you are starting your entire preparation for general studies mains, this should be the first book to start with. This should be the first area to start with, because it provides useful context and background for all other areas, my dear friends. Are you connecting to what I'm trying to tell you? Perfect. If you can master this, you have actually tried to understand the evolution of so many other subjects, and those subjects are also going to be easy for you as you read them in their contemporary relevance. Are you connecting to what I'm trying to tell you? Perfect. Thank you, my dear friends. So you know now why you are preparing, why you are studying post-independence, not just for those 60 marks. In fact, there is much more to achieve than those 60 marks. Is that okay? Thank you. Now, having said that, now what do you study? What do you study in the post-independence India? There is, see, because why this question becomes important is, if you look at the syllabus as it is mentioned in the UPSC note, whatever, that notification thing where you see the syllabus, it's just one line. It says everything related to consolidation and consolidation of the states and reorganization of the states in the post-independence India. It doesn't explicitly make a mention of the areas that you need to focus upon in the post-independence Indian history. It does not explicitly mention to you, like it has mentioned for other areas like the world history or the national movement, or even for that matter geography. It doesn't make any explicit mention of the topics that you have to prepare for post-independence India. So a useful reference for us for post-independence India should be the chapters as they are chosen in the NCERT book. Most of you will know this. There is this NCERT book called Politics in India Since Independence. Politics in India Since Independence. There is an NCERT textbook. Okay. This should be a very, very useful starting point, my dear friends. If you can read this whole book once, it's going to give you much needed framework for what you need to study for post-independence India. Even though it just talks about politics in India, politics does not exist in vacuum. It exists around the things that is important for society, things that is important for the economy and all that. Yes or no, my dear friend? So it is trying to trace not just the political history, but also, the social, the economic developments that happened during that time. Yes or no, my dear friends? Are you connecting to what I'm trying to tell you? So that should be the useful starting point. Either if, whether you are reading it for the first time, whether you are reading post-independence India for the first time, or you have already read it once and you are doing it again after your prelims, once you have to read this book. It's a must read. Even if you have made notes of your own, it's a must read, my dear friends. Is that okay? Thank you. Once you have read that, and okay, the Congress system is important, the era of one party dominance is important, then how the Congress party got toppled by whatever factors, what was this green revolution, white revolution all about? Why did we go for Nehru Mahalanobis model of growth? Or what was planning, or how was planning conceived in India at the time of independence? Why did we choose what we chose as a priority in our plans in the beginning years of, the modern India? Are you connecting to what I'm trying to tell you? What worked for India, what did not work, how we had to change our economic perspective and the planning perspective, and what shape did electoral democracy take in India? To what extent was it successful? How did other forms of democracy outside of institutional democracy challenge the hegemony of institutional democracy? What all happened? All these things very well explained in this book, my dear friends. But then I will not recommend to you to limit yourself to this one book. No, please don't limit yourself to this one book, my dear friends. I want you to read either India After Gandhi by Ramachandra Guha or India Since Independence by Bipan Chandra. I have a condition for you. This, if you are writing the exam next year, when I give you a choice of or, if you are writing the exam next year, if you are writing the exam this year, this very year, and if you have not read either of these two books, then please do read India Since Independence by Bipan Chandra, because it's more textbook like. India After Gandhi is very good book. It's very reader friendly, just like Bipan Chandra. But then this I feel is more like a textbook created for purposes of exam and all that, my dear friends. Are you connecting to what I'm trying? See here, somebody who is scholastically interested in post-independence India will appreciate this book more. Somebody who is interested not only with that scholastic quest, but also has an eye on exam and how he has to boost his marks and all that, very well organized, I feel this. It's organized in the way you can use it in your mains answers. Are you connecting to what I'm trying to do, my dear friends? So that's the what of post-independence India. Okay? Now, how is the next question. When it comes to how, I go back to my whatever previous recommendation I've always made, 3C formula: comprehension, consolidation, creation. Okay, first just read these 3 books or 2 books in a way where you're not trying to remember anything. That's the first time reading for you. Okay, second time when you're reading, read in such a way. See, first time when you're reading, you need to comprehend. Just that. You have to check for yourself whether you have understood everything at a deeper level. Are there any unconnected dots? Are there any gaps in your understanding? Are you connecting to what I'm trying to? That's what you're going to do in the first round, which is the round of comprehension. Then comes the round of consolidation, where you're going to reduce this big Bipan Chandra book to your notes to an extent of some 20 to 30 pages. That's too less, I understand. Probably some 50 pages. In 50 pages, you should be able to consolidate all the important points from these books, so that you don't have to read that big book again and again for your exam. Is that okay? Consolidate. Creation. Now you will wonder, sir, what will I create for something that is already there? This is after all history. Post-independence history this is. How can I create something? I have something to suggest to you, my dear friend. Be calm. Look at here. If you watch my video, just some 2-3 videos previous to this video that you're watching, there is a video that I've made on all that matters to GS mains answer writing. I talk about some advanced answer writing skills like balance, like critical thinking abilities, all this. Creation is required there. Creation is required exactly there. So you need balance in your answers, because as you know, history is always written with a bias. It always supports someone over other. It shows someone in good light and someone in the poor light. But as an aspiring officer, as someone who is aspiring to be an administrator, to be a leader of this country in its socio-economic developmental agenda, for its socio-economic developmental agenda, you need to learn how to balance your views. That's what you have to create. Whatever information your textbook may give and however it may give, it may whip up your emotions, it may create that bias in you towards someone, but then you will have to ensure that as you convert that answer, as you convert that knowledge into your answer, you are bringing in much needed balance. The person who is evaluating does not feel that, hey, he is inclined to this or that. Are you connecting to what I'm trying? That's where the creation comes for an IAS aspirant. Are you connecting to what I'm trying to tell you? Critical thinking abilities you have to create. See, green revolution happened. There were so many advantages with it, but there were also disadvantages. What else could have government done at that time, or what else could have intellectuals of that time done, so that green revolution would have seen better, greater success than what it actually saw. Are you connecting to what I'm trying? Critical thinking. Also ask questions to yourself like, okay, were we too early to economic reforms? Were we too late to economic reforms? Did liberalization, privatization, globalization happen at the right time? Are you understanding what I'm trying to tell you? Thinking 360 degree. Okay, so all these things are your creation, should be your creation. UPSC, yes, does want you to toe official line in your answers. It wants to see that government language. I agree. At the same time, it's looking out for some fresh blood, out of box thinking people. And that's where your creation comes. Are you connecting to what I'm trying to tell you? So this is what you're going to study for post-independence India, my dear friends. Thank you all very much for learning from this video. See you all in my next video, my dear friends. Thank you.